right, here we are, everybody. As you can see, I'm in my back porch right now. It's a little bit gloomy out today, a little bit dark, but hopefully I will be able to fix the lighting for you. I've actually not really redecorated, kind of moved the furniture around here. So when I do my home tour, you're going to see what it looks like, but I'm kind of making a cozy place for myself because the weather is so good now in Florida, and this is the time that I love to enjoy being out on my porch. And I do a lot of studying in the Bible, and that's what this video is about today. Is I'm going to show you all of these things, and a lot of these things I've talked about. I have a video, I will link it down below, of the study aids and all the things, and most of the stuff is the stuff that I've been using. I don't spend a lot of money when it comes to studying the Bible, so I'm going to just show you some of the things that are really working for me and how I've kind of tweaked them to help me with my studies every week. The first thing I want to tell you is I have 3 physical Bibles. Actually, I have 4 now. I forgot. This is why I'm at the table, because all of this stuff is stuff that I use, but I don't use it every day. So I have 4 physical Bibles, and let's start with the first one. Oops, Muffin is barking at Missy. Okay, this is my study Bible. It's the Life Application Study Bible, and this is this is the Tinsdale New Living Translation. I like this one a lot, and this is the one that I study. And as you can see, I talked about this in the video when I first talked about some of the products. I have to put tabs on all of my Bibles. If not, it just drives me crazy. So I have these camouflage tags. I got them on Amazon. I'll link all of this stuff below to my Amazon favorites in case you want to purchase or give them away as gifts. And that's been working out really, really well for me. I love the Bible. I love using this Bible. It helps clarify my mind a lot about things. The next one is the one that you have. Well, actually, I'll talk about this one first. This one is my NIV Bible, and this was gifted to me by a friend. It's like a little page marker that I keep on there. So this is the one. This was the original Bible that I've always had. This is my first and only Bible. It's leather, and then it got damaged, and I put it in this cover. I removed the rings. It's like a planner cover that was old, and it's an old Buxton, but it's beautiful. It's leather, and it feels so good. So I also bought tabs for this Bible. As you can see, some of the tabs I actually have to fix for this Bible. So this is another Bible that I use a lot. This is the Bible that I go to when I ask God questions and things like that. This is the one that I go to because this is the one that he first spoke to me through. So that's why this is like a personal thing, even though it's NIV, but I like to go back to the King James and read it there too. So here is my King James. This is the one when I first took my walk after I came back from Arizona. This is the one that I purchased when I came back, and I also put tabs on it, so I'll link all of that. I don't know if these still are available, but they look beautiful with the tabs. And this is the Creative Bible. It's flexible, and as you can see, it's kind of in between the Study Bible. It's a little bit bigger, it's a little bit smaller, and then it's smaller than the smaller Bible. And this one is actually a coloring Bible, and I've colored a couple of pages in here, but here I have colored this whole section, and then this section are colored. So it's been really nice coloring. So when I get a chance, I color again. I did scratch it a little bit here in the bottom traveling. So this is the King James Bible that I use, that I love to use. And most of my videos, and you saw when I did Genesis and Exodus, I think even in Exodus, I used this one. I used sticky notes. So the great thing about this Bible is that this Bible has a wide enough margin that you can put a whole bunch of notes. And this is what you saw me reading from when I started my channel. And then I ended up doing so many studies that I ended up putting sticky notes. And that's the problem that I had, is with so many sticky notes, it just got too big and bulky. And then I was limiting myself when I wanted to teach, because there's just so many things that you can put on a sticky note. So, but I do love this Bible a lot, and this is my King James. So this is the one that I go to also when I need to find things out. So I still use it. I use it for my personal study, and that's what I use. So before we get into what I'm using now for actual studying, let me just talk to you about some other things. Okay, so this one I talked about also. This is just a journal that was at Walmart, and I bought this to do my morning pages, but then I changed it. And in this book, what I do now is I write dreams or prophetic things that Jehovah gives me. I write them in here. I don't tell anybody about them unless he tells me to put the word out. They're written in here, so I don't have to go to anybody for them because they're private. Another thing that I do enjoy a lot is when I go to Walmart, they have coloring books, and this is a coloring book that I bought. And I like that I can cut the pages out. So I bought this so that when I go camping with the girls, I can put it out on the table and we can color. But we didn't get to do that this time around because the girls that I was with were not really the kind of girls that are really much, I don't think they were really much into God, and they weren't really much about doing a lot of things. But I did buy that for that. And then I also keep, these are erasable color pencils. These are from Walmart. They're the color, the Crayola color erasable ones. And I keep this in my living room. If you've ever seen when I did my video on the prayer box, when I went like this, I keep this in my living room so that I always have my crayons in the living room to remind me to color, because a lot of times I'm watching TV and I may just want to color. I'm very artistic and I like to do things like that. So I'll go grab my color Bible or my coloring book, and it's, you know, it relieves stress sometimes when you just do things like that. You're going to want to have a good sharpener for your color pencils, and I like this one. This is the Prismacolor. I'll also link that below. Okay, so those are my things that I enjoy to doing, which is mostly part-time. And then I also have a Kindle, which I keep in this cover. This is my Kindle, and I do a lot of reading in here, but what I do mostly in my Kindle is just reading books that teach me different things, and novels and fictions and things like that. I like to read. Then this is my Planner Perfect. It's a traveler's notebook, and this is a wide size. This is what I was using as a planner, and what I'm using this one for now, this is where I put my morning pages to God, and I have it decorated with a pretty heart and butterfly, and just because I've dedicated to God. I call it my reflection notebook because there's several notebooks in here. So the first one, this fell out. The first one is just my idea notebook, where I kind of write ideas or even things that I want to talk about in a video, sermons or what. Then this is astrology that I just cut, and this is my morning pages when I write letters. I write to God, so I usually write about 2 pages to God in the morning. And this one is a new notebook because I just cut it down this morning. So the other one I put it away. And then this one is kind of like a sketchbook. It's only a couple of pages that I made myself, because this portfolio here has strings, and all the notebooks go in with strings, as you can see here. I'm sorry, I can't see hardly through the camera, so it goes in with strings. So I'm able to have 4 books in here. So this is like for sketching and drawing or whatever. And then this one is the one that I use for my ideas, and I put a lot of mind maps in here, and just, you can see there's a lot of video ideas in here, and that's what I do. I just do a lot of mind maps in pencil for when I want to do a video. That's where I initially put in the ideas. And this one is a moleskin. So this one is the one that I called my reflection book, because this is the one that I grab to when I want to connect with God, personally talk to him, and when I also want to connect with him about the things that I'm doing in the future, things for my videos, and in a creative way, because he is our creator. So he also loves us to be creative. And so I sit down and I'll reflect with this book, and I'll just start either creating videos, kind of putting my ideas down in this whole entire book. And then of course, so I have a moleskin and I have astrology, and then this other one is just one that I made, which is this is from a I call it composition book. I cut it down to size, and I like these because I can put, since they have the margin there, I can write little notes after I've written things. I can go back and write notes about things that I want to change. Those are 2 notebooks that I've made myself, which is that one and the sketch one, and then one is astrology, the blue astrology, and then I have the moleskin in here. And then I'm using a Lamy pen, fountain pen. I always use fountain pens now because I got tired of throwing out refills, and I write a lot. So with the fountain pen, I'm able to refill the pens and not have to be throwing away anything into the landfill. So that was really important for me, that I'm able to be sustainable with my ink. Plus, if I ever run out of ink and I couldn't get ink anywhere, I could go outside and make my own ink, because I do have berries out here that I could make ink from. So that is that. This is a wide size, by the way. So before this one though, I did purchase this one as my planner. So these are from Planet Perfect, both of these that I just showed you. This one is the Hazel from Planner Perfect, and I'll link it down below so that if you want to purchase it, you can buy this. This one is a Hazel. It's called the Hazel. And then this one is This is Margot, and this is a B6. I think this is a B6. And I was using this as a planner, and then I didn't really like the size so much, so I ended up using it as my prayer journal. And I'm going to do a separate video on this, but I did want to show you that, oops, drop this, that's okay, that I do have in here a women's devotional. I spoke about this before in the past, and this I do daily with. This is a day-to-day devotional, and it gives you several scriptures, and then it just talks a little bit about the scripture. And I love just sitting there and meditating with this during the day. So this goes in here, and then my prayer stuff goes in here. So I love that it fit in there. And then I also have another fountain pen here from, I don't know, I think it's a Pilot fountain pen that I keep in there as well. So, but I will do next week, come back and you're going to see the video. I'm going to talk about just this whole notebook on its own. So that's, and then I always keep like these little scripture cards here. I keep this in my living room. Ever look at my living room when I'm doing the videos in the recliner, you see this notebook. This one sits in my living room all the time, because sometimes I'm so busy during the day doing 100 things. I just need like 10 minutes to just like connect with God and just like get the word in. I'll come and I'll grab this. And of course, daily I have prayers in here that I have to do, that I want to do. So that is what I'm using. So those are two. Then I also have a regular planner, and I'll talk about this another day. This is my planner, but I want to talk about this in a separate time, because that's not really about God, but it's putting God's plans to use. So we'll talk about that in the future. All right. So what I have also is my iPad. This is what you see me filming with every week. And I'm going to go ahead and show you here. Let's see. I'm going to go here to this week's video. So let me go back a couple of weeks so I can show you what I've been doing. Okay, so a lot of the problems that I have with sticky notes, as you can see, was I was limited with how many things I can say. So if I'm going to try to put this notebook here so that I can put it on top. Okay, so if you see there, I have different colors, and I love that, because when I'm reading the word to you, I know what you see the little dot here at the end, that I have to tap on that to open up. Let me tap on it. It'll open a box. And in that box is where I put all my notes. Okay, all my notes are in there. So that's what I'm reading from. And I know when I read that verse that I have to tap on that to give you the notes. Like a lot of notes I'm reading from my Bible or from websites that I feel good about, I will put the notes in there. And I also, in the spirit, I also take in the information and make sure. So there are times that I have taken things out because I haven't felt comfortable with some of the things that I've written. And then I'm like, no, I don't feel comfortable with that. So that's what I've been doing. So let me see. So the good thing about doing a system like this is that you have different colors. Okay, so here's one. Let me go back here. That's the only problem with this, is a lot of times you see me cutting the video. It's because I'm having trouble. Like I went too far and took me back 2 spaces or whatever. Okay, so the great thing with this is you have different color options here. So you can have a color for the notes that you got at church. Okay, so I bring this planner with me to church. This is my average planner, and I have a notepad in there. When I go to church, I write down notes from my pastor, and then what do I do with those notes? I don't, if they're not long, I could put them in here, which is great. I have enough space, I can put them in here. But if I already have notes for that verse in there, and I have more notes, I have to put a sticky note. So another way to do it, or if you do like I do, is studying. By the way, those are cows back there. Is you highlight the text, and then you create in here. And I'll show you how to do it in a second. I'll turn you around, and then you create a note, and you enter the note, and you can put the note in the color that you want. So you can have notes, for instance, you got it off the television. You can have a color for that. You got it from your pastor, a different color for that. You can have one for a friend gave it to you. So you can color code your verses to help you with whatever it is. For me, what I was doing was, initially when I started using this system, I was color coding according to where I got the information from, so that if there was something in the notes that I had to go back to, I knew where to go and look for it. So let's say, okay, this verse here, okay, so I go here. So this verse here in green, I know the website that I got that from, because that website, I deemed it as green. And the pink ones were from another place that I got that from. And then When I did the purple, when you ever see the purple, see, this is the problem. It takes, sometimes it's a little slow. Okay, but the purple one is stuff that I got in the spirit when I read the verse. And it's something that I had to sit down and talk to God about, go back to him, go back to my Bibles and talk about, and then I talk to you about it, and I put all my notes in there. And that's what I do. And this is the best way, that if you have lots and lots of sticky notes and you really want to preserve them, and this syncs to the cloud. So even if there was a fire in my house and my Bible's burned down, I still have all the notes in the cloud. So all I have to do is, buy another Kindle and enter in my cloud account, and I'll have all my notes from all my years of study. So that is why it's so great for me, because I can go back, and when I start reading Matthew, maybe 4 years from now, I can go back and I can see how I've changed. I can see the notes that I wrote, and I might learn something new about it and be able to add them on there. And that's what I love about that I can continue to add to those verses as much as I want. So, and this is the system that I use when you see me reading. Now, this is a King James Bible that I have in here. I also have the Geneva Bible in here as well. So here's my Geneva Bible that I keep in my Kindle, and this way I can have different types. I can have different Bibles inside of my Kindle. So I do like that a lot. And by the way, just so you know, everything that I put in here, because it's Kindle, also goes in here. Even though it's highlighted in here and it's gray, it's not in color per se. I can't see the colors in here because this is grayscale. But the colors are in here. So whenever I have to do the color coding, I do it in here. It's very important for me. So I always use this for my studies. But I know that even if I grab this at some point, even though I just want to look at the verse, I can still read the notes in here. Okay, so just so you know, these two sync together because they're on Kindle. The newest addition that I have to my studies is this little guy that I just bought, that I just heard from my pastor got this as a gift, and I thought, oh, I'm going to buy this. This is called The Way for Cowboys. It's a tiny little New Testament only Bible, and the writing is pretty small. I will show you this. I have to wear glasses with this. By the way, I actually went to the Dollar Tree and they sell these magnifying sheets for $1, and I actually cut one. And this one I keep inside here because if I'm in my bed or something, I got to grab it. I don't have my glasses. I have it with me. Plus, this is my Bible that I'm going to take with me when I go hiking, because last time I went hiking, I brought my writing journal, but I wanted to have a little Bible, and this is perfect size little Bible. So it's got a lot of really cute stories in here about the cowboys, and this is a great gift for your husband if you want to give him a little Bible that's pocket size. So it's got a lot of great, like, I don't know, little cowboy stories. I love all of this cowboy stuff. I mean, for me, if I could start a business here, I would do it. I just have so much stuff going on. I would have cattle and animals and all of that. So I do love this a lot. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you, this also not only has a New Testament, but it's also Psalms and Proverbs. That's why I loved it so much. And it's something like $6 from Amazon. And that's why I loved it so much, because when I go hiking, I love to read the Psalms and the Proverbs when I go hiking. Oh my gosh, that would just inspire me to write so many things about the things that I'm seeing. So, and actually in one of my Bibles that I have here, I think it's this one, I highlighted a lot of scriptures that have to do with like traveling and stuff like that. So I'm going to be doing that to here. But what I wanted to tell you is that this one has this cute little reading plan. And I thought, oh, I've never really done a reading plan, and this one looks great. And the reason I want to do this is because God led me to this. After I did my video on the name of Yeshua, the name of Yeshua, we talked about in that video about Matthew and John were the only two disciples that really gave us an idea of who Jesus was as disciples, right? And then I was reading John, and then this one also had John 1 John, and all of the stuff in here. And I thought, you know what, this is going to be really cool because it says 28 days to start the way. And I thought, this is great. This will be 28 weeks starting in January for us to do this. So I thought this was great, especially since I'm going to be taking this on the road with me. And I really love this little size. So those are the things that I'm doing. And now I'm going to turn you around and I'm going to show you how to enter information into your Kindle. All right, I'm going to start here. You can see this was my last study on Matthew 25, and this is the Holy Bible King James. This is what I use when I read to you guys. Okay, so when I tap on it, it gives me the opportunity to do something with that word. Okay, so what I could do is when I tap on it is I can highlight or make a note. I have to hit highlight. I can pick the color that I want, okay? And these are the choices that I have. I also have an option for underlining the word. If I wanted to do that, I can tap on that. And if I wanted to delete it, I just delete, okay? So I tap on it. Okay, so if I tap on it, you see that I have this. I can make it as big as I want, okay? So let's say I pick that and I want to hide and I want to write a note. It's going to pick up the last highlight that I did, but I could go back and change it. Now it's going to give me a note box, and this is where I'm going to enter my information. So I'm just going to put in the word Yeshua. Okay, and then I'm going to just click. So now it made this little note mark here. Now I know that in this verse I made a note. Now if I want to change that highlight, I'm going to tap on that and I'm going to go here and I'm going to change it to green. And you see it changed it for me. So I could also tap it here and that is going to underline it for me. So you have options with colors and options with an underline, okay? So as you see, the and is not, because I didn't bring the little box all the way over. So I can have multiple notes here, because if I highlighted this and, let me see if I can get it done here. Okay, so right there, I highlighted the word and. So I'm going to put highlight, and I'm going to choose a color. I want to put yellow. So now you can see that I can have, in one verse, I can have multiple information. So now it's highlighted. If I wanted to make a note for the highlighted one, I just tap on it, and I just hit the note. And now it's going to do a note. So I'm going to type Yeshua again. All right. I typed in Yeshua and then I close it. Now I actually have, for this verse, I have the yellow and I have the underlined. So I can have multiple, it's almost like little sticky notes, but you have to tap on them to actually see the sticky notes. So that's a great way for you to be able to save and color code and do different things. What I do in my Bible study is the blue one. This is when I start my video. The blue one is the one where I do my intro and I talk about last week or whatever's coming up. The green was from a different source, but I am not doing that anymore. I am doing it so that I can differentiate between the notes. So all of these represent those notes, and all of these represent these notes. I have only certain places now that I go, so I don't really need to know. So all of this green represents those notes. So I'll read all of this to you, and then I'll do the notes. But before, what I was doing was I was going to, let's say here, hold on. Okay, so I would read this. And then I'd give you a note. And I'd read the next one, I'd give you a note. And the next one. So for me, it just goes a little bit faster, especially with editing, when I can just read all the notes at one time for that particular, or for those verses, and then I just put it in there. So I'll do several verses in one and put just one note instead of having multiple. So that just makes it easier for me. So here is my tablet that I just showed you, where I have my Kindle, and I also, this is Apple Books, and I have my Bible in this one, and I have like I have two more Bibles in here as well, but I also have the dictionary here, and I also have this great app that I just love. When I tap on it, it's called Bible.is, and when I tap on it, you can see here that I was in Matthew 26, and it reads it to me. So listen to this. Watch.
Matthew 26. When Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said to his disciples, "You know that after 2 days the
All right, so I'm a little bit far away from the Wi-Fi, so just so you know, because I'm outside, but it reads it and it highlights what it's reading at the moment, and it's also, you can see the numbers here. So what I do is basically when I start a new chapter, I'm washing dishes, I'm sweeping, I'm doing stuff in the house, I'm listening to the verse first, and then I'm taking notes also sometimes in the spirit about, or summarizing what I learned from the verse before I actually give it to you. So this is a great app. I love this app a lot. I also have the Blue Letter Bible, in here. But this one is just more for reading. It's got a lot of references and things. I don't really use it much, but I do like having it here in case I ever need it. This is an Apple iPhone 7. This is a phone that I use to talk and do all my stuff with because I don't use my filming phone. But I hit this and it says Bible, and then I have Promises, which I love. This is a great app. If you just want some daily verses, it's just set it up for daily verses and it'll give you daily verses. And I also have the Bible map. I think I talked about this one time. And then I also have the Strong's Concordance in here, which I also love to have because I do a lot of checking on things like that in here. And that is what I use. I just want to talk to you also about how awesome it is to use these tools where you can actually dictate all of your notes inside of your digital Bible. So if you have lots and lots of notes, you don't have to type them in. You can actually use the dictation button in there. Right, so here's a note that I opened that's in my Kindle. So when I tap on the note, I'm going to get the letters for me to type in. But look at this little thing that's here. This little thing has changed my life right here. Because in here, if I tap on it, hello, my name is Susan. Look at that. It typed it in for me. So if you have a lot of notes, use the dictation button, talk slow. So tips with this is make sure that when you type, whatever you dictate in there, you double check it to make sure that it's right before you close a note. Because I have had this change certain words for me that like Yeshua, that is not going to come up. Certain names are not going to come up here at all. If you have lots and lots of sticky notes, that is a great option for you. Just make sure to take your time putting in all the notes into something like that. And you're going to see how now you can have everything stored in there. It's going to be on the cloud and it's going to be super, super awesome. It's a great way to store all of your notes forever and to be able to hand them down to the next generation, because now they will have your notes. They will be legible and they're going to be color coded. You'll probably want to have some kind of information in there about the different color codes when you're in there, so that if you're leaving this type of information behind for your family members, they're also going to know what the color code is. It's not a lot of stuff, but it keeps me happy. It keeps me well informed, and it's simple. It's easy. The Bible shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be difficult. Now, in the past, I will link some other stuff below, some other videos that I've done in the past where I had a happy planner, and I was also using the soap method. None of that has really changed. I still do all the same things, but I don't really have a lot of time to do soap methods because right now I do so much research on the Bible itself for my weekly videos. And I'm also doing videos on other things as well. So I'm not really doing the soap method at this time, but I will link all those videos down below so that you can also see some of the things that I was using that maybe will help you as well. This was about a year ago. Also link down below all of these little Bibles. So if you want to buy whatever I can offer you to get down there, maybe you want to give them as gifts to somebody. So I thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. I hope that this helps you a little bit to be inspired to read the Bible and not feel so disorganized with your Bible. And if you want to know anything else, or if you want me to explain something to you or teach you something else, please leave it down in the comments, because I will definitely think about making a video on whatever it is that I can help you with when it comes to learning and understanding the Bible. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.